And that's why we have to have these inter-community conversations.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I wasn't even, and they've been drowning in Zara.
This is Shayna.
And Chris.
And we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
This week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have frot or frotting. And shout out to our commenter who taught me about this because I had no idea. But frotting is a sexual practice that usually involves direct penis-to-penis contact. And this came on the heels of the scissoring thing. They were like, oh, like frotting. And I was like, don't know what that is.
Frotting.
But looked it up and I was like, hey, yeah, kind of. Frotting, also known as dry humping or rubbing, again, involves rubbing one's genitals against another person's body for sexual pleasure, specifically penis-to-penis contact. This practice could occur fully clothed, partially undressed, undressed. Got options there. So,
wow. I love that this kind of goes into like a sub of scissoring and a sub of friction fraction.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how this is
it's all
together.
rubbing. Good old rubbing, you know? Love it. What you got? Good old rubbing.
Good.
That's all it is.
Thank you for that. Thank you. It was the facial expression that went with it. So fantastic.
It's great, you know?
Good old rubbing.
Just a good old rubbing.
My Queer Urban Dictionary of the week is bull queer. Bull queer. It is not like bull dagger. It is not like bull dyke. Bull queer. Well, not kind of like bull dyke. Bull queer is basically a gay man who exclusively tops in intercourse. It's bull queer. My sentence is, while there are varying definitions of bull queer, some of them which are very dark, the main characteristic would be that this person is more aggressive and dominant during sexual intercourse. Bull queer. All right, y'all. Another lovely week where we have company. We're talking sex, talking church. We're talking all sorts of things, but I could not be more excited. This is one of the top people I've wanted on the podcast, and I hope you enjoy this episode with Brandon Kyle Goodman. They, them is a writer, actor, and sexual wellness advocate. They're best known for their work on Netflix's smash hit and Emmy-nominated animated comedy series Big Mouth and its spinoff Human Resources, Amazon's Modern Love, Hulu's Plus One, and ABC's Abbott Elementary. Goodman is also a co-host of the new E! Network Awards season after show Recap. Every Monday, you can watch them on their Substack live stream, Messy Mondays at night. On Thursdays, you can hear episodes of their iHeart relationship podcast, Tell Me Something Messy. And this fall, they'll be premiering their solo stage show, Heaux Church, at Ars Nova in New York City.
Brandon, welcome to Bad Queers. We're so excited to have you here.
Almost too excited.
I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting.
Yeah, we have so much to cover. I know we'll go off on tangents. But first, tell us where you grew up and how it shaped you to be the person you became.
Ooh, I've never heard it asked that way. Like people like say, tell me about yourself, but how did it shape who you became? I grew up in Queens with 3 generations of Caribbean folks. So I'm first generation American. My mother Trinidadian and my grandmother Trinidadian, and then also my godmother lived in the house. And so I'm always like to say that like I'm Black American, but I think those of us who are Black American in Caribbean households missed out on some of the orientation of like, you know, like just certain things that we just like didn't get. So it's very Caribbean. And so I think it just, how did it shape me? It made me very outspoken. It made me very polite at the same time because you know Caribbeans don't play about those manners.
Okay.
Do not talk back or you will have your life snatched. And also because they were, you know, 3 really strong, independent women in my household, I really learned how to take care of myself quite early, and how to like hustle hard. My mother was an actress. My grandmother was a minister, head of churches and schools. So I had like working parents in the household who were just on their shit. And so it just taught me how to be on my shit.
Wow, that's amazing that your mother was an actress. And
Yes.
then even in the church. So you had to do all the speaking parts in
Oh,
church. Like
baby.
you couldn't.
Oh, baby. Oh, I had to wear the suit. They were like, I was not allowed to do what other kids were doing. Like, you are
Hmm.
a representative of grandma, representative of mom. It was suffocating.
Yeah.
But I always say about preachers' kids, pastors' kids are the horniest, the
Facts.
freakiest, the nastiest, because we are
Yeah.
so repressed. And it turned out like now all I do is talk about sex, and that is what I've made my job doing. So
Right.
checks out.
That's awesome.
Honestly, it's the tale that people don't tell enough
Mhm.
to recognize that pastors' kids or preachers' kids are the horniest.
They're sluts. They're nasty. Every single one of them. And all those who are listening are like, uh-huh. Even if you still in church and you gotta pretend. Just every time I meet a pastor's kids, you give me a little wink like, I know what's going on, girl. I know what you're doing. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. So for not only being in an intergenerational household, also pastors' kids, also actress, that's a range of different backgrounds and also empowering women that you had around you. How did that shape your queer journey?
Well, interestingly enough, it was a tension. My queerness was a tension with them. But what I like to say is that by the time my mother now is born again and has been for 15 years, and we've been estranged for about that time. My grandmother, it's all connected. My grandmother died 15 years ago. My mother became born again and then took issue with my sexual orientation, and then we became estranged. But the way it shaped me beforehand was my mom would always teach me, if people don't respect you, like you create a boundary there, or, stand up for yourself, stick up. Like they were always giving me those talks. So by the time my mother was like, nah, you my child and you cannot do this thing, I was already raised in this other way. And so although it was difficult to make that boundary, I was kind of raised to make that boundary
Mm,
because I was taught that like you deserve respect, and anyone that doesn't respect who you are or how you show up should not be, should not have space in your life. So it was kind of, I don't think my mother expected that to be used against her, nor did I,
mm.
right? Like we never thought we were talking about each other, but ultimately that was what happened.
It's like a Uno reverse that they
Yes.
don't realize. Like,
Yes,
I'm
it was a
teaching you these
reverse.
lessons, and then you come back and you start getting the logic to put that together. And then they're like, wait a
Yes.
minute.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
You're reading? No, stop.
Writing?
Writing?
It's a
Yeah, take
frustration of
it back.
knowing they did a good job. Like, God damn it, you got
Yeah,
me.
like they did a
Right.
great
Like, they
job.
telling their friends, like, this, what this little nigga did to me. Okay. Like,
Literally, absolutely. Like in the effort to give me a better life, teach me all the things. And then it was like, then they went back to tradition. And I just was like, oh, I can't do that with you, unfortunately.
Mm. How was it being a New York kid? Like, I grew up in Virginia, so New York kids had this level of just, you could be anywhere from New York and you just had this instant
Absolutely.
cred.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. And thank goodness. And I still have that cred. And I'm proud. I'm always a proud New Yorker. Yeah, New York kids are the shit. Like they have to be independent by just nature of it. You have to take the
mhm.
subway, you're taking the bus, also the fashion. I mean, even going back,
Mm.
whenever I go back home and it's 3 p.m. and the kids are out, I'm like, why is it a runway? Like the kids are really
It's eating everything
serving.
up.
hmm
Like you have to have a fit. And also I think just the harden I've tried to be softer, but the hardness that you have in a way,
Mm.
because you're not gonna be a punk, you know what I'm saying? Like you're
hmm
Yeah.
not gonna let anybody fuck with you, no one's gonna scam you. I'm suspicious of everyone and everything to this day. But I'm
Are
also
you a
incredibly.
fast walker still?
Oh yes. Oh yeah,
Sprinting.
we got to go, honey. What's going on? Let's go. Also, I drive like a New York cabbie. Like I don't give
That's
it. Like, come
hilarious.
on, we swerving. Come on, directionals
Being
on.
trained
Let's
by
go.
the
Come on. Like trained by the New York yellow cab drivers because they will get you
Mhm.
anywhere in 5 minutes. Your life will flash before your eyes every second of that drive, but you gonna get there safely. So
That's so funny.
I'm
All
proud New
right.
Yorker.
You're the first that I've heard somebody from New York being like, one, I can drive. And then here's how I drive, because
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Any of my friends that come from New York, they're like, I'm not driving. What do you mean?
Yeah.
That's T. So I only learned how to drive because I was moving to LA. So I only learned how to drive at like 28 or something like that. Otherwise,
Mm.
I have a godmother who's lived in New York, lived across the street, but she still doesn't drive. Like in her 70s, never got a driver's license. It's like not a thing in New York. But I was a personal assistant once for a very fancy person, and their lawyer was like, "You don't drive?" They're like, "You have to learn how to drive, just in case you're ever in a situation." And I was like, "Okay, okay." I didn't listen right away, but eventually. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm
Eventually.
glad that I have this skill because sometimes you got to get in the fucking car and go,
Yeah.
especially in these times.
Facts.
At the ready.
Facts.
Okay.
Jeez.
Glad
So
that
how
we
long
got
were
Across
you
the
in New
border.
York before you left? Did you immediately go to LA or where did the journey
No,
go
I
from
was
there?
in, so I lived in New York until I was 14. Then I went to boarding high school in Georgia from 14 to
Mm,
18, came back to New York for NYU, and then was there until I was 28. So I've only
wow.
been in LA for the last 10 years now. But
Okay.
most of my raising was New York. I always said I was a New Yorker with Southern sensibilities because teenage years are so formative, and that I did spend in small town Rome, Georgia, a couple minutes away
Oh,
from
wow.
Alabama, hour outside Atlanta. Don't recommend.
Okay, that's what I was about to say on a scale of 1 to 10.
Highly don't recommend. Highly
Mm,
don't recommend. But did it. Got through it. Learned how to say sir and ma'am and whatnot. And never took an affinity to what is it that they have? The tea, the peach tea or something like that.
the
Never
sweet tea that they
sweet
have.
tea. Never got
Yep.
into it. Never
You
quite did it
resisted
for
the tea.
me. I resisted. I want the iced tea, not the sweet tea. Y'all can keep
Mm,
that. It was never sweet enough. Can we
yeah.
talk about that? It was just never. I was like, this is not honey.
You
Mm-mm,
said
no.
sweet tea, right?
Sweet
You
tea. I was
sure?
Mm.
expecting something sweet in this. This is giving
Oh,
bitter with honey. Anyways,
got a little Southern fried. Okay, with the Georgia turn. And then that was also Atlanta. So you were really in the South, like
yes, it
with
was
your
like an
Georgia
hour
To
turn.
be
outside
an
Atlanta,
hour from
like
Alabama
Rome,
is
Georgia.
wild.
No, I was closer to Alabama. I was an hour from Atlanta
Oh,
and
hour
like
from Atlanta,
10 or
closer to.
15 minutes from
Yes.
Alabama. I
Oh no.
actually got chased. I told the story, I think, to Nicole Byer. I got chased by, this is not proud, but we got chased by the KKK.
Mm.
There was like my best friend in high school was a white girl. Shout out to Lauren, she was the best. But she and her family ended up moving to a lake house in Alabama. So we came into this was like the year after I graduated. We came into Rome, Georgia, to go see the Da Vinci Code. Shout out to Tom Hanks. And then we were driving back to her house, and she was like, "We're just gonna take the back roads," which should have been. I should have been like, "Wait, what?" But essentially, like where she was, even the front roads were the
Where
same.
the back.
They were the back roads. They just had stoplights. She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're gonna take the back road." So we started taking the back road, and then she had her brights on because it's the back roads. They know whatever. And there's like a pickup truck in front of her, and it starts to slow down. And then as it like turns into a driveway, literally, I think we both saw it at the same time. Like her brights hit the back of their window, and there were two bumper stickers of Klansmen. And we didn't even look at each other. She said, "Is that?" I said, "Uh-huh." So she steps on the gas and goes, and then she's like, "Are they?" I was like, "Uh-huh, they're following us." Like they pulled back out and started to chase us. And she was like, "Okay, here's the deal. We're going to keep driving. I'm going to make this right towards the house. If they follow us, we just got to keep going until there's no gas because we can't even go to the cops because they might be whatever." So we turned and like they kept going and we got to our house. Obviously, I'm shook. And her mother with love. It was just like they were probably just trying to scare you. And it's like, well, yeah, yeah, I think they were. I think
At
that
minimum,
I think
sure.
it
Ma'am,
is. Ma'am,
not
I
you
think you're
explaining
right.
fear to me.
I think you're correct. I think they were, and I think they were successful. Honestly, A plus, A fucking plus.
Oh shit.
So yeah, and so I haven't been back to Georgia since.
And that's fair.
But I
That
do
is
want to go
fair.
to Atlanta Pride, and I keep saying it. It's just always in October, and like I'm like, girl, we celebrating Halloween. What's going on? But I will
Yeah.
get there. I will get there.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
honestly said that October should be the real Pride Month because the queers eat up Halloween every
They
year.
Yeah.
So it's like, why
do.
don't we? And
Yeah.
that's like one of the next months that has the highest amount of queer holidays. Like
Holidays.
National Coming
Yeah.
Out Day comes in there,
Yes.
Transgender Awareness Week, all of those things. We were like,
Mhm.
October actually should have been it.
And
Yeah.
September is, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it like LGBT History Month or something?
October.
No, that's
October.
October as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
great. Oh,
Yeah. And
yeah.
then
All
also
of it.
fall fashion is queer.
Come
So
on, talk
we'll
about
take that
it.
as well.
Those
So it's kind of the
scars? That's
gayest
the
month.
homosexual in that scarf.
Okay.
Okay.
The
I always
lesbians
got
in
a
the
scarf.
flannels.
Come
Yep.
on,
That's
period.
it.
There's all of it. So
That is it. Well,
Absolutely.
let's get into some messy stuff. So we know that you have a wonderful podcast called Tell
Mm.
Me Something Messy. For the folks who are
Yes.
listening who have not heard about the podcast, can you give us like a high level breakdown about what it's all about?
Yeah, so I always say messy is the equivalent of being human. And so that this is a compassionate space to talk about the things that make us human, specifically in relationships, sex, and identity. And so, we have the range. I always say, I'll tell you about sugaring my asshole, and I'll tell you about being estranged from mother. I'll tell you about polyamory, and I'll tell you about any other thing. So it's just like whatever is happening in the human experience, we kind of break down. So usually a guest comes on, we'll do a messy story, and then we'll answer messy mail from some of our listeners, and that usually leads into a kind of deep dive conversation. I always say I like to say the quiet things out loud. I just wanted to create a space where there's things that you talk about at your brunch table, but you're too afraid to talk about anywhere else. That's what I want to talk about on the show, so that we all know that we're not alone in this wild thing called life.
Brandon, this is kind of to back up, but what
Please.
was your first memory of learning anything about sex, like intimacy or relationships? And like who taught it to you or where'd you see it, experience it?
It was my like first official was a sex ed class when I was 12. And it
Mm.
was useless. We came in from our recess, or whatever that was called at the time, and there was quite literally a wooden dildo on the front desk, and
No
nobody was
way.
in the room. And so you have a bunch of seventh graders walk up and be
Wow.
like, why is there a dick on that table up front?" And then like 3 minutes later, our homeroom teacher comes in with this woman. He's like, "This is a nurse, and she's gonna teach you about sex." And then he fucking shut down. Like he was gone. He like went to his computer and was like, I can't be part of this. And then that lady was like, "This is how you put on a condom." And I think we might have done it on some bananas, and then that was it. And then when I went to high school, we had health class, and part of that health
Mm.
class was sex ed. Now, but remember, I'm in high school in Georgia, and
Mm.
also not a fun fact. My freshman year, Ron DeSantis was the history teacher. American history. Ugh, ugh,
What?
crazy,
What?
crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's the school that I'm at, right? And so they were teaching us abstinence, and then like our teacher was like, "But I know some of y'all are fucking, so condoms." So there was like a little bit of, but that was kind of it. What never was in sex ed was pleasure. Of course, not queerness, but just like there was never any talk about like this should feel good or
Mhm.
consent for that matter. It was literally just like, please don't have a baby. And so that
Yeah.
was kind of the extent of the sex talk. And same with my mother. It was just kind of like please don't have a baby. Like that was,
It's like the only thing
don't,
that's the curriculum.
this is
Don't have a
literally
baby.
don't have a baby, please.
Don't have a baby,
We just don't,
please.
we can't do
It's just a
that.
pamphlet. That's
Don't have a
the
Don't
baby.
have a
condom,
baby.
no baby. That's
No
it.
baby, please. That's it. That's it. Please, please. That's it.
Coincidentally, raw dogging sex ed with that, where they just right into the condom
Mm.
like this,
Just like put
nothing
that condom
else,
on, nothing
no
else.
consent, just
No, just put
right
the condom on
to.
and don't have a baby. And I'm like, okay, I think we gotta tease that out a little more. I think there's more that we can talk about here in this class.
Got there quick.
Yes.
Wild behavior to only teach this. And I heard this story when you had Tara Michaela on your podcast to
Yes.
talk about
Yes.
this. And it got me thinking, for you specifically, like say you got to go in and teach a sex education class,
Yes.
what would the first like three topics you want to teach the students about?
Oh my God. I love this question. Um, I mean, I guess my topics would be pleasure, consent, and communication.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I would want to obviously talk about like which consent and communication are linked, but I would definitely want to separate that. But I think us feeling our own pleasure, how do you make your body feel pleasure, how do you make somebody else's body feel pleasure, but more importantly above it all, like how do you talk? Because I think that there's such a, I was writing about this or trying to write about this, where it's like there is social currency in being a sex expert, and it starts in high school, and then like you never question it. You go into college and everyone expects that you've been fucking and that you know what you're talking about. And I'm now 38, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know nothing about sex. all I knew was like a
That
dick
part.
went in a hole, and that's kind of it. Or like, you play with like that's it. That's the extent of it. But no one talks about, and also like even in terms of like vaginal sex, like making it complicated or seeming like it's complicated. It's like, no, y'all just won't talk about it. Can we just talk about the thing? Talk
Yeah.
about what makes that person feel good. Ask them how they like to be touched, how they like to be played with. So yeah, communication, consent, and pleasure would be my headlines for my sex ed class.
I love that. Make a curriculum. Like
Yeah,
somebody,
right?
like
You're talking about
it'd be a
maybe I
blueprint.
will make a little curriculum.
Yes.
Good. Or
Because the
or a
adults still
book,
need
like,
it.
or books,
We still
something.
or a
need
book.
it.
Because that's
we
what
do
my
still
mom
need it.
Like
Yeah.
my mom
adult
gave me a
sex
book
education.
about learning
Your mom
your
gave you a
body.
book about
Yeah,
the
and she
body?
was just like, yeah, so read
So
it.
go on.
She said summer reading.
Yeah, here you go.
This is
And
what
she
you got.
actually did give it during the summer in middle
That's
school.
I
But
was like, you about that age? Read this book.
like, I
If you
like
have questions,
paused
please don't.
Golden Eye, like, girl,
She said, take notes. You about to take sex ed, right? Yeah, go ahead and ask
man.
it at school.
Yes,
I was
yeah,
so
yeah.
annoyed with her. Like, closeted kid, just so annoyed with
Yes.
her. Like, could care less, girl.
I mean, that's more than
Absolutely.
I got. That's more
What'd
than
you
I got.
get?
I feel like literally, I remember my first memory was elementary school. It was like
Uh-huh.
fourth grade or fifth grade. And again, similar to you, except that we didn't have a wooden dick sitting on the table.
Yeah.
Word.
Nurse came in and they had split us up by gender. So all
Yeah.
of the girls, quote
Yes.
unquote, were in one room, all the quote unquote boys were in another room. And all we learned about were periods.
Ah.
And that was it. And then it was like tampons. But I remember pointing it out because there was only one person in my class that had started her period.
Yeah.
And so that anytime there was something asked, we would all just be like, and she would have to like confirm
Marie?
whether or not that was accurate. Like we'd be like, hey, girl, is this,
Marie, is that nurse telling the truth or what?
is that how, or like they would talk about like heavy flows or doing whatever. She'd be like, that is not me. That's not, that's not what it, and that was literally, we like pulse checked it with a fourth grader to go against our nurse. To be like, is this correct information? Is this what
But
we
I
have
love
to
that.
look
I
forward
love
to?
that. That
What do you
means
mean?
your fourth grade class was really bonded, like a real ensemble. You said, "Fuck that adult."
Right?
What did my girl?
We all
What's going
looked
on,
at
my girl?
We had
What my
no
girl
faith.
say? Right or
No
die?
anything.
That.
Yeah, but
Guilty.
that's really like my first couple sex ed things because the next one wasn't until middle school, and
Yeah.
it was at step team practice, and apparently everybody had synced up, but you could smell it. It was one of those like you could smell. So then our step teacher, who was also our eighth grade English teacher, she was the best of the best, and she stopped practice, had us all go to the bathroom. All clean ourselves up. She was like, go change, do whatever. She's like, I don't care if you're on your period or not. And then she came back, sat us down, and taught us about like how we should be maneuvering with our periods.
what's
Those were the
interesting-
first like 2 lessons I had.
What's so interesting is I remember not sex, but it was when the boys started to smell that the teachers were like, pause, let's talk about deodorant. And I was like, I just feel like, shouldn't that be like, you have middle schoolers constantly, like I'm gonna leave, but you're still here. Like, wouldn't we know that maybe around 5th grade, let's have this conversation, maybe around 7th grade. It just feels funny that they're like waiting for us to smell.
Right. And then like just are upset about it. They're like, God,
Literally
y'all stink.
pissed.
Let's
So
teach you
pissed.
about whatever. It's just like their last straw. I'm like, you all knew this was
Yeah.
gonna happen. You have
Totally.
experienced this too. Like,
You've experienced this. We're not your first class. They're so upset about it. They're like, you should not be smelling. You're like, okay.
I'm gonna shoot them some bail. It's the disappointment at the parents and caregivers each
sure.
time where they're like, y'all smell this too. I know it's not just at school. I know y'all smell this on the weekends. Like, you know how hard they be
deep.
playing outside. So
That's
it's
it. But our parents are busy. Our parents are like, listen, I'm trying to pay
said,
these
"This is why
bills.
we
I
send
can't
you
be.
they're
why
like,
I
at least
sent
buy the
them.
right deodorant. Don't keep giving them that right guard. Stick that just
they
Yeah,
said,
and
please
now
stop
we're-
buying Axe. Because
yeah,
the way
yeah.
Axe
Can
is
we
ingrained.
please ban Axe? Every time I smell it, I am taken back to high school. And I'm like, why are you spraying on deodorant, love? Please.
Axe is like the
Please.
Four Locos of like,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
like,
Wow.
for sure.
Wow.
Like, you know, the
absolutely.
class action lawsuit is like coming.
You has to.
Have you ever been?
Come on.
Have you ever
But
been
I did
sprayed
love
or
those
you-
commercials. Now, those commercials were a sexual awakening. When those boys were on the basketball courts with their shirts off,
It was
pumping up
very
against each other.
queer-coded.
Okay. And then
It
they'd be like
was.
X. I'd be like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's like, I need to get
I'm gonna
some.
get some of that X.
Brandon's like the marketing flawless.
Marketing
but
flawless. Marketing
product,
top tier.
toxic.
Ooh. Very toxic. Literally
Oh
toxic.
my God. That's too good. That's too
So,
good.
Brandon, we talk about bathhouse envy all the time here. Like
Uh-huh.
gay and queer men in bathhouses, like we just
Yes.
think it's the coolest thing and wish that we had that on our end.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to talk about the Substack series LA Bathhouse that you do, because that is like in my mind exactly how I want to go to a bathhouse.
Yes.
Like, can you talk about your series with Substack? I was like, I
Honestly,
want
that
to see some
version-
fucking, but also
But
somebody
also,
read
like,
something.
read me
Yeah, like,
something.
read me
Honestly,
something.
that
Have an
Substack
open
version
mic.
was. I know, it was so culture. It was so like go there, play with somebody, and then like go listen to some
Yeah.
art. That sounds
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
I would live
it
for
was-
that.
I would live for that. This was up because it was Substack. There was obviously none of the funny stuff. It was just the reading stuff. But it was cool. It was at this Korean bathhouse or spa. I don't know what part of town it was. In fact, I remember looking at the map being like, what part of town are we in? But I don't think it's quite downtown. Anyways, it was somewhere. They had like ice cream, and they handed out like Substack branded flip-flops. And then everyone was kind of like in their bathing suits. And it was funny. I came with like 3 gays. And so we were in our like in Speedos, which was like, well, y'all are the homosexuals. But everyone else had on like board shorts. But it was also beautiful because it was like, people across different body types, different ethnicities, different sexual orientations, sitting around a pool in a hot tub, eating ice cream and listening to some of us just read. But my favorite though is when it's just, a nasty bathhouse. Those are
Yeah.
real. Those are just great. Because there's
What
no
was
commitment. You know what I'm
the
saying?
best experience you had in a bathhouse?
Wow, the first time I got my balls tapped was a great experience
Oh,
because I didn't know I liked my balls tapped. And so I was in the bathhouse and go ahead, ask
When you say
question.
tap, like, yes, like, can you like just
So it's
literally
like,
tap in the ball?
so when you tap in the balls, it's not a slap, right? So like a slap would be different, but it's just like a little like, how do you, like if you tap the mic, test 1, 2, 1, 2,
Just a
like a little
little,
tap, a little
okay,
underhanded.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like a
Okay.
little.
Is it
Okay.
for, I know it's getting technical. Is it
No,
like
this
4
I
fingers?
usually
It's just,
I like a 4. I like
okay.
I keep it
Okay.
like as
Like
if my
together, just
my fingers are stuck together, and like
yeah,
a little
that's a good
undercarriage,
one.
like boop.
That denotes also care as well.
Yes, yes,
Like,
because I
I
care
like
because
that.
you don't want any wild. You don't want a wild
Yeah.
tap, and you don't want
Yeah.
the balls to fall between your fingers. You want something to to hold them, right?
That's
So like
true.
and if it's a hefty ball too, you don't want so you
Yeah.
gotta have a little bit of a cup that
Yeah.
that pageant girl wave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just but an under.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you
My
so
pageant
much.
queen moment.
I'm a visual
Absolutely.
learner.
Absolutely. Listen, I love to teach. Yeah, so this man we were, fooling around in the steam room, and then he just like tapped my balls, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that. I wasn't expecting to like it. I think I found out that recently I have a bit of a pain kink, not too much pain. I don't like too much, but I can handle like a little bit of biting, a little bit of, ball tapping. So that was one of my favorite experiences. Is that true? Yeah. There were some other, I mean, there have been a lot of fun experiences. If we're being honest.
I mean, it's like
You're like,
anytime I
top
hear
10?
about a dark
Well,
room, I'm just like, that is a dark and lawless place.
Love a dark room.
yeah.
Yeah, it's dark rooms are so when I first learned about dark rooms, I was like, absolutely not. This is insanitary. This is crazy. What do you mean we can't see each other? This is disgusting. But then when I got into one, I was like, this is actually wildly liberating. Like, even if you're not doing anything, I'm just like watching a I would say a room, but it's usually there's like a piece of cloth hanging and whatever. But it's like this designated space of the party where people are just fucking with like kind of no shame. That's what it was. It was like there's no shame about this. Even though it's a dark room, there's that's part of the aesthetic, but it's not because anyone's ashamed to be here. And that it felt like wildly liberating to witness the first time. I was like, oh, I actually kind of vibe with this. Also, the reason I like from like a I guess, a sex hack. If the dick isn't what you want it to be, if the ass don't do what it need to do, you can move on. Whereas if you invite
Mm-hmm.
somebody to your home, they
Mm,
now in your home. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So a dark room is just a nice way to try some things out. And you
Yeah.
could be like, oh, that works. I like that. We should do more. Oh, it's not my favorite. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
you can
thank you
stay
for your
right here.
time.
Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate you. Okay, God loves you. And then we keep moving. You know what I'm saying? You're a child of God, love. Yes, you are. And then you move on.
That's so great.
Wow.
Our dark room would just be full of lesbian tension and no moves made. Like maybe
No
one,
movement.
there'd be
The
one make
lesbians don't
out.
have a dark room at all. At all.
No, we barely
No.
have
Now,
clubs.
why do you think that is? Yeah, barely are the clubs. That's right. Why do you think that is, though?
Because
You
of
know,
sexism.
well, sexism, yes,
Okay.
it's true,
Okay. Work.
systematically, but also
Hmm.
like we're getting out of the socialization of being like shy to make the first move in most
Ah,
cases, and those sort of things. I think this younger generation and even the older ones now that there's more information out there are doing a great job, and maybe that there could be a future bathhouse for us and dark
I feel
room,
like y'all
Yeah.
but
should open one or
it'd be
throw
very
a party.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, there are
love that
parties,
idea.
and a lot of folks
Okay.
do throw house events.
Yes, they
So
do.
that's like the
Okay.
safer part.
Yeah.
And they'll open it up with like snacks and conversation, and then
Love
people
that.
will move to a different portion of the house, and that's
Love.
where they have
Hmm.
consented for XYZ to happen. They have room monitors, they're doing the
Okay.
things just in more intimate spaces. I know that Chicago did have one that was more for queer women, trans, non-binary folks, but it ended up closing. I don't know if they were fighting a bunch of ordinances or things, but apparently they
Sure.
had one years ago. I did
Okay.
this research. And so I just feel like we, as queer women, haven't been able to have that liberation. Like we're only now
Yeah.
starting to see sex depicted in the ways that it should be depicted and not
Yeah.
in a
Yes.
pornography centered male gaze type
Yes.
way. And I think we're starting to get more accessibility to like, hey, this is what all the ways that we can have pleasure. Or I feel like we're having more conversations with friends now about being like, yes, I'm into being strapped down and dicked down. I want to be
Yes.
topped and the bottom and restrain me and spit in my face. Like
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
just now having these conversations, and I'm 35. So it's like for us to start feeling the increase, I'm like, I didn't have these conversations in my 20s, which is wild
1000.
to me for that. I had to see it on the internet. So I'm
Isn't
really
that
happy that we've
crazy?
started to conversate. Yes, it is. I'm like, we are freaks in the sheets, and all we are known for is U-hauling and long-term relationships.
I know. And
Y'all
It's
be
unacceptable.
dildos.
unacceptable. Y'all be fucking down in a
We
way
do.
that I'm so inspired. My husband and I often, and my therapist who's lesbian agrees that like I'm probably should be a lesbian, and I don't know what I'm doing with these gay men. But I just love
We'll
the
welcome you with open arms.
please.
Yes,
I'm trying to be
and
up in there,
would.
please.
Always have a place. Always
Thank
have a
you.
place.
I just want to see it at the table.
Yeah.
Okay. Be- because I think that the approach to sex that I find usually with queer women or non-binary folks or femmes is that there is more passion and there's a more awareness of your own body, where sometimes with just like cis men, there's a detachment, there's a numbness. It's a just like put it in and be done with it. And there's not, it's like, baby, we can have emotional connection and we don't have to get married. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly
Like
that.
we can have a little conversation, share a little, little chips over here, fuck, and we don't ever have to talk again, but we can still be kind to each other. And that seems to be like a disconnect in the kind of gay male world. It's shifting a little bit, but an overall disconnect where I'm like, I wish there was more. We're fucking each other. Like we're
Mhm.
putting things inside of each other. We're playing, it's intimate. I think we're allowed to be compassionate and kind with one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if something also it's like, especially for like, anal sex, like shit literally happens. So we should just have compassion inside of here as a general rule because shit literally will happen.
Yes.
It happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you don't want
Yeah.
to like to be with somebody and the shit happens and then they're so disgusted and upset and it's like, what? That's just weird. That's just
Yeah.
Right.
so there's a lot that I think as queer men or male presenting can learn from the non-binary queer women and femme communities for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
wish
think
we
there's
had more of the transactional thing that y'all have. Like, because that passion
Mm,
it goes too far. Like,
stay.
You know, a dark room could
Oh,
turn into a that's it. Like we cooked up and now we're leaving and we're gonna be together for hours from
damn.
this
The date
moment.
has
Yeah,
begun, and
it
eight
has
Yeah.
hours later,
begun.
we're still
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like if we could be more transactional, that'd be great. Like we're
Yeah, I
like,
feel like
Wow.
it
there's an
just it is
opportunity
what
for
it
this.
is. Just a pleasure and just leave it alone and say God bless you and have the day you
Child of
deserve.
God. Wow, the grass is
Yeah.
always greener on the other side, isn't it? We want a little bit of
Right.
y'all want a
Yes,
little
we
bit of
do.
this.
Yes.
Wow.
Because we really don't. It's literally that hookup. And if you're like, okay, I'm gonna head out, and they're like, but wait, I've made you breakfast and tea, and I want you to stay and watch this whole first season of the show with me. And now
Damn.
what are we?
Yeah.
And it's
What
like,
are we now?
we met 8 hours ago. So I'm
Yeah.
okay. And we
Yeah.
don't have to do that. But the thing is, we will have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I
See,
think that's the thing. When
you'll
I watch
talk.
the behavior from cis gay men that go out and do, and they're just like, what? My friend, we were at a wedding. He got up, got a ding from Grinder, went up two
Hmm.
levels in the hotel, hooked up, came
Hmm.
back down, tried to get back in the same bed as me. I said, if you don't shower,
And that's too.
okay,
That's
if you
too.
don't,
A
and you just
wedding.
did
He
that,
was horny. He had to
and
go.
you just did that, and that
Yeah.
blows my mind. I'm like, we could never. We could
Yeah.
never.
No.
We
Yeah.
would be too terrified. We'd be worried that the person on the other side is a fake profile and anything could happen. And there's just not that
Yeah,
freedom.
that I want to say that I carry that fear, but a lot of my colleagues in the gay community do not. But I carry like I was saying the podcast there was a grinder profile and it said "Die with a Smile." Now I had later learned that it was a Lady Gaga song, but
Oh,
the way
okay.
that y'all did the same
Yep.
thing I did, which was huh? Like
Yeah.
that can't be your opening line, love. Die with a
Yeah.
smile, girl. I can't. But that person was probably cleaning up ass, and I'm just like, no, I won't. We got to talk for a little bit. I prefer meeting people in real life. That's why I think I like a dark room because I'd rather like see you, vibe with you. Sometimes I can get a vibe over messages. Like I can see if you're actually interested or you're asking questions, but I still get nervous. I'd rather meet somebody in real life, and I want to know who your friends are. Even if I'm not
Mm,
friends with them, I just want to know that you got friends and where to
That part.
yeah.
find them.
Hmm.
Okay. So, send the
I love that.
profile around to my group, let them know, look, I need those checks and balances
That's
so I can
hilarious.
open my hole. Respectfully. So
Respectfully.
respectfully.
Well, that's why it's important for us to talk about this and share notes, so that
Yes.
we can have these things and get closer to what we want. Um,
Yes.
Brandon, you do know what scissoring is, right? You don't think it's
Okay.
a myth, hopefully.
No, it's not a myth,
Okay.
right?
Okay. No,
Not
it's not.
right.
That's just a filtering question for us now because they're so.
Well, you said it in a way that I'm like, wait.
No,
You're like, did
we've
it?
just we've had
Not
this
happen?
come up in a lot of conversations
Yeah.
recently with a lot of friends. And
Yeah.
mainly non-binary folks, mainly cis gay men
Yeah.
who have come on and they're just like, so y'all scissor, right? And we're like, yes. But they make it sound like we do it all the time, which we had to gently explain. No, we don't. There's a lot that gets involved with that.
Yeah.
And that they also thought it was kind of just a myth that we joke about or like we did on the dance floor or something. And we're like,
Yeah.
you all have figured out how to
Wow.
put your pee in a lot of different holes. And yet
1000%.
can't understand the concept of scissoring.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To me, honestly, I'll believe anything. Somebody submitted that they did a squirtsicle. They squirted into popsicle things and froze it. And so once I heard that, like, I believe anything is possible.
The
And then they use it for
dedicated
play.
freezer space for that is something,
Yeah.
is
I mean, they might put it
That's
right next to the
creative.
sweet potato fries, but that's like truly.
right next to it. Okay.
You just got to put like a little sign on it so nobody accidentally
Yeah,
eats
no
it
ice.
wrong.
No,
No
I'm
ice.
fine.
No.
No ice. No
But
ice.
do they add flavors to it too? So
I
it's
mean,
like a
I
whole
would.
thing,
I'd add a
like,
little juice to it. If I were to do it myself, I would add a little juice to it. But it didn't
Juice.
sound like it. But it's something that they freeze and then they can use and play. They can give it to their partner to suck on if they want. And I was like, work.
Wow.
So,
Huh.
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And is. Okay.
that was not on my
Sex is
bingo
so
board for today.
expensive. Literally, it was never. When I read it, I was like, "This." I did not expect this ever. But I'm
That
like, "Oh,
is
sex is
hilarious.
so." When you start opening them trap doors, there are just kinks and fetishes that
Yeah.
expand like things we could never imagine or ever heard of exist. I'm like, oh wow. People be fucking. People
And
be
really
fucking.
do. You know,
They
that's
really
so
do.
funny you mentioned that because that reminds me, first off, besides my mom giving me the book, the real education that I got, I used to watch Real Sex all the time as a kid. And
On
that sounds
HBO
HBO had the
late at
favorite
night. You had the
late at
low,
night.
low volume.
Yep. The low volume. Just
Your back button was
And
for Nick
never
at Night.
That's it. The backup button to go to
Yep.
Cartoon Network or whatever it was.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Just watching little Johnny Bravo. Not doing anything. But that Squirtsicle sounds like a real sex segment
It
that they
does.
would do. And that was the
Absolutely.
most creative sex that I saw because that, obviously porn wasn't that great back then. But
Yeah.
that
Oh
just
my God,
reminds
that
me of
show
like a
was
segment.
everything. I remember there was an episode where I can't remember if they were queer or not, but it was like a dick retreat. It was like a men going to like this penis retreat, and there was what I remember is that there was a massive statue, and it was a dick. It was like that. It was like the nurse's wooden dildo, but like bigger than
like
life
a
size,
statue.
like a statue of it.
Yeah.
And they were like, I think I remember they were like outside naked, and it was just a bunch of men. I don't even know they were all queer, but it was like, what was the purpose of it? I think to like embrace your penis or something, whatever it was. But I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
What a show.
Wild.
What
What a
show.
show.
Budgets just don't budget like they
They don't
used to.
budget like they
Okay?
used to. They don't budget like they used to. We need a reboot. Somebody talk to
We
HBO.
really do.
I
Now
would
they
love a
should definitely
reboot.
bring that back. Like,
Bring
'cause
that show
Trying to
back.
bring the HBO part of HBO Max, and they can bring that back.
They can bring
I
that
know.
back.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Undressed?
Yes. That was on
another-
MTV, right?
MTV,
Yeah.
that was another horny
Yeah.
show. 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
close to the TV, low volume.
Yep.
Yep. I was,
Undressed.
yes. That was the theme song. That was the theme song. Yes.
I could get that one off a little bit with my mom because she
Yeah.
used to, which was crazy. I used to watch a lot of R-rated stuff with her. Like my favorite sex scene was always Cousin Faith on Soul Food. And she'd be late to be like, look away. But Undressed, she
Wow.
would let go because she's just like,
Whatever.
okay. Yeah,
Can
whatever.
we talk
That's-
about Cousin Faith though? Because that was an important scene to me. Like
it was
I wanted,
important.
not Cousin Faith fucked the family, so I didn't want to do all that. But
And did.
Yeah.
I wanted to be pushed up against that wall like that.
Listen,
that was crazy. And
that
his
was one of
ass,
the-
Michael Beach's ass.
It was a great scene. That was a great sex scene. That has to be top 10 in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like that was a really good scene.
Oh my
and all that.
God.
And I just couldn't be mad at Faith. I just couldn't.
couldn't
I
be
understood. She fucked
Michael
the family,
Beach was fine as
but
fuck. Like, don't fuck
also-
the family, but also
but
If you're
Vanessa
going
Williams
to,
was really, she was hard to be around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Not that excuses.
it did not. It did not. It was not her fault, y'all. But
It was not her fault at all. Not for all.
would never let Faith stay in my home. They just
It was just
wouldn't.
crazy to let Faith stay at the house, though. It was just crazy.
She
When
said,
Big Mama
like,
had
if
that
I'm
big
about
ass
to-
house.
yes. She said,
I will
"Nooks and
say,
crannies."
Vanessa Williams' character handled it so beautifully in the moment when she was like, let me shield Brandon's eyes, little Brandon, I think that was the character's name. But the knife really, she came back. She came back with the knife. And that
And
was
she
important.
had to do it.
She had to do
They were
it.
trying her. They were wearing her down. Like she was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Did
Money.
you hear that scene was improv?
No.
I'm
What?
pretty sure, like research, I'm pretty sure she says that they didn't plan that scene. That's actually real terror.
They said that you got into your scene mode. You got
Yeah.
into the casting character and said, I took
Yeah,
this seriously.
and they didn't cut the camera, and so like when you see the fear on people's faces around that knife, it's a real fear. It's a
Vanessa
real-
Williams' eyes, to be fair, like I was scared in that scene, like she was gonna get someone, and I
Yeah.
understood. We understood why, but
Yeah.
I thought somebody might not make it out this kitchen.
Yeah,
And now we realize they actually thought somebody
they
was
thought
Yeah,
they
they
thought
did
they
too.
might not too. Yeah, it's a great scene though. A great scene. A great
That's
movie.
fantastic.
What a great movie.
Classic movie.
I love this bonding for us.
It's
I love that we got to review this because somebody listening needed to hear this.
They needed to hear it. In fact, I
Yeah.
might need to go rewatch that movie. I haven't seen that
Right.
in a minute. And
Might have to do
that's
that tonight.
too long.
That's a
Too
great
long.
film. A great
Yeah.
film.
Somebody was like, it was trauma the whole movie except for like the last 5 minutes. I was like, well,
It really
yes.
was.
Yeah.
A lot happens in that movie. You
lot.
forget about it. I mean, Makad Pfeiffer goes to jail at one point, and the gun pops out, and Big Mama is dying, and then tells little
Ooh,
Brandon
Nia
that he's
Long,
responsible
they
for
had
the
this-
family.
Right.
Nia Long in the shop, and when he closes the door and the whole glass shatters. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. That was a whole, 2 hours of trauma.
truly.
It It
But
really
also
was.
the fact that it was Nia Long, Vivica A. Fox, and Vanessa Williams. Wow, what a
What a
time to be
trifecta.
alive! What a
Jesus.
time to be alive!
There was
What?
no way I could have been straight in the 90s. Like, and it's not
At
my
all.
fault. It's the
Seeing that
No,
film,
straights.
no.
That film alone.
That film alone,
That film alone. So we didn't have a
the
chance.
men in that movie, my God,
Yeah, they got
please.
everybody.
They,
They even got his name wasn't Scooter. That wasn't Scooter from What's It Called. But the guy, the light skinned guy with the big
oh
eyebrows that would
yeah, yeah, yeah,
always,
with the big lips,
yeah,
who replaced? Wasn't he? Didn't he replace Kyle
yes,
in Living
on Living
Single?
Single.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
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 yeah. He
yeah,
had the
yeah,
big lips,
yeah.
and the zoom in on those lips when he talks
Mm-hmm.
about how he was fucking or eating or something like that, tasting. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It was a lot. Listen, we couldn't. There was no way. There was no way we couldn't
No,
be queer.
we were all cooked. We were
Yeah,
cooked.
we really were.
done and done. Done and done. There was no hope
Oh,
for us. Oh
No,
well.
not at all.
that's
Congrats to us,
Thanks.
honestly.
Thank you, Soul Food.
yeah. Queer film, classic
Queer
queer
film.
film. Hmm.
Officially a
Queer
queer
cinema.
film. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so
Black queer
much.
cinema. That's for
Oh
us.
my
They did it for
gosh.
us.
Yes.
Oh,
The fact that we made it here. Chris, before we go to backward opinions, where should we travel to for a brief moment?
oh well. I did want to know. God, there's so many questions I want to
So
ask,
many
but I did.
things.
Where did your love of writing come from? Yeah, I mean, you're just such an incredible writer.
Oh, thank
Where
you.
did it come from?
I would say probably grandma and my mom, because my grandmother was a minister, so she was always writing. And at one point, I was transcribing because she would write pen and paper. So at one point, I was transcribing, as I think all of us, you know, we're the generation that like got computers, so we started
Hmm.
transcribing her writing onto the computer, and so I got familiar with her writing. And then my mom always wrote for herself too. Like a lot of her shows were solo shows, and so I think I got that love of writing from them. And then when I learned, I wanted to be an actor, like traditional, like book
Mm.
me, let me do the thing. But in college, you know, she black, she femme. Nobody knows what to do with her. So I started writing for myself, and I found the power in that. And so
Mm.
I just like started to fall in love with the chance to tell the stories that I wanted to tell, or to perform the monologues that I wanted to perform. Because I went to college for acting, and there was a point where there were three of us that were black in this class of 80, and we had to request to be in the same class together so that we could do something we would actually get cast in. Because otherwise, you were doing like Chekhov, and it's like, beloved, respect, but I ain't gonna be in Chekhov love. So
Right.
you gotta at the very least give me a little top dog underdog or something. So I think just also recognizing the lack of work that there was for
Mm.
us. Like you literally your options were like fences and piano lesson, which are fantastic, but my white classmates had so many options.
Mhm.
And so it was just like, oh, I think the power is in writing, is in writing your own words.
Love that.
Did you get to, because also you're on Big Mouth, Walter the
Yes.
Lovebug, one of the best
Yes.
characters
Thank
Mhm.
on the show, in
you.
my opinion, because the way, first of all, Walter's a mess.
Walter is messy. Walter
Mess.
is
Like,
messy. A
just comes
mess.
in. Every time Walter pops in, I'm like, wow, look at this.
Something's gonna
But
happen.
also,
Yeah.
how much do you get to write and like shape the voice of Walter? Do you get to have a lot of impact there? Do you have a bit of freedom there? Would love to know the insight there.
For Walter, actually, I think I had a lot of impact because when we came in, I think we were coming in for season 4. I think season 5 we were coming in for, and they were saying that, oh, this season we're going to introduce these love bugs who will then go to this spinoff. So by the time we came in for season 5, they knew they were going to do this spinoff, and they were pitching names like Stanley Tucci and I think Jeff Goldblum, who were fantastic, but I felt and I still feel are also queer coded. I think they're fantastic actors. They're stunning men, but they're very queer coded to me. And I was like, I feel like maybe this should be a queer character. And so I think I pitched RuPaul and I think I pitched Billy Porter, and they liked the pitch for Billy Porter. And then, as writers, when we write the scenes, which I think they had written the first episode with Walter and Sonia. So we were just like reading it, and so I just we cast the writers as different parts, and so I just read for Walter, and I kept reading for Walter, and then that's how I got the part. And so because I'd been in the room for so long, people know my voice, know how I sound, and so I think we just started writing to my voice and how things come out of my mouth, which was exciting to kind of help build that character.
Brandon, is there anybody that is on dream list of people to collaborate with in the future?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Sorry. Yes.
You're like,
I just
no,
like
just
thinking about like who
clean
I
to
that
just
up
saw the
enough.
mental
to
Rolodex
say.
just go.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah. Oh my God. There are so many people. Michaela Cole's on that list. Lena
Oh, that would be
Waithe
so fun.
is on that list. I still have dreams of being on Grey's Anatomy. So shout out to
Come on,
Shonda. Like,
Shonda.
come on, Shonda.
That
Like,
happens.
literally, this is my dream role, and I actually had a meeting with them years ago, and I told them this. I wanted to come because I think I put it in a script. I wanted to come to Seattle Grace as Dr. Burke, Isaiah Washington, who was fired at this point, as his long lost son who was looking for him, but only found Christina Yang, Sandra Oh, who's now also off the show,
Yes.
and then become Sandra Oh's protege. That
Wow.
was
That
my
would have been
arc, and I was like,
iconic.
give it to
Wow.
me, give it
That would
to
be
me.
so good.
And I feel like it could still happen. It could still happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? I mean, it's such a huge. I honestly like Quinta. I would love to work with Quinta Brunson. I mean, it's a huge list, and I would say that most of them are Black women, if I'm being honest.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
just
Feels like the
because
right answer.
that's
Yeah.
just that to me is who's doing really like interesting, exciting, out of the box things, and also I find that those environments and those ecosystems are softer and more compassionate to work in. And that is equally as important to me. Like the energy and the kindness and the compassion is equally as important as the brilliance of the work.
Love that.
That's so great. Well, one thing that you have coming up,
Yeah.
Heaux Church.
Yes.
How much can you tell the people about it? I'm so excited for you.
Oh my goodness. I can tell you everything. So it opens in
Yes.
October. I'm doing it in New York with Ars Nova. It's going to be kind of our first run of it. We're running from October 18th to Thanksgiving. And essentially, it is, how do I describe it? I wanted to, I'm a PK, so I wanted to like redefine church, but for myself. And so it's a show that I say is like Pee Wee's Playhouse meets Dr. Ruth with a sprinkle of Wendy Williams. There are puppets, there's Pussy and Bussy who teach you how to identify your turn-ons. There's Floppy, he's an emotional penis, only gets hard when he's emotionally connected, which will be his journey throughout the show.
Come on,
I tell
dummies.
I tell stories about my family and just like about my growing up in a religious household and reclaiming who I am after the fallout with my mother. And I also teach the audience how to eat ass.
Mm,
So it is
important.
a ass and pussy. We say it's ass and pussy. Say, we'll give you like this is the same general thing to get you started. And so it was like how do I take messy Mondays and tell me something messy and kind of bring it to life with my theatrical background. And that's what Heaux Church has become, and I'm very excited about it. It's so dumb. It's gonna be so fucking dumb, and I'm so excited to create something so dumb for the world.
That makes my Black queer Southern Baptist
Yes,
heart just smile.
Yep.
honestly, you're who it's for. It's
Yes.
like you're exactly
It's
my demo
amazing.
audience. I also say like it's for anyone who feels like a misfit, like anyone who feels like they've been kicked out of something or aren't allowed in something or too weird or whatever. Like this is our church. How do we
That's
take kind of
amazing.
the how do we show reverence to the parts of us that shame tried to erase?
Mm.
I
And
can,
take back the church. We might as well take it back.
yes.
They are doing
Also
some
that.
crazy
They're doing
stuff
crazy things in
in
there.
Jesus' name.
Period. Jesus
And gotta
is
take it back.
real pissed about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus would definitely go to Heaux Church too. Like there's no doubt
Absolutely.
about it.
With that
Like,
hair? Come
yeah.
on.
Okay.
Yeah. He might be
Please.
a little late coming in and people,
Absolutely.
oh, is that him?
Absolutely. He would be late.
You gotta cut him off the
Please. Late
show.
seating.
He
Late
said,
seating,
no,
please.
turn around, turn around, turn around.
It would be a sight to behold for sure.
Right. Pictures after
But
this.
yeah. He'd be there cursing up a storm with me too. Like looking at the puppets, like this is a vibe. I think
Love it.
I was saying this. Jesus turned water into wine. That's a fun nigga. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Who
somebody fun.
is associated with like just a cool dude.
That's
And that's actually I
cool.
saw a video. They were like, the Christian right says God a lot. They never say Jesus because Jesus was very specifically good and
Yes.
socialist. So I was like, and now that I hear it even more and more, I'm like, oh my God, they don't say Jesus a lot because he would have been a cool dude.
And they
So
know it.
and
A
they
cool
know
dude and a
it.
black dude,
They
and they
knew
know
it.
it.
Yeah,
And they're
and
like,
they
we
Okay.
play it.
can't. And they
Like
know it.
it will take it back. So
They're
hopefully
like,
make Heaux Church a thing because they, let
that's
everything be
what
a
my
church.
dream is, that Heaux Church becomes like a touring mega church.
It should be. It
Yes.
should be. Are you locking the
Yes.
doors for the
Right.
No,
offering?
absolutely. Don't come in here like the puppets get scared. But I will have a late start time. I'm gonna tell everybody 7. I'll get on stage at 7:30.
Oh
So
wow,
you'll get there.
nice,
And now
nice.
we
And
know.
please, please, please have a stud on the drums. The foundation
Yes.
of every,
Just one time.
yeah.
Actually, DJ Ari Grooves, who is a black queer woman, is our DJ.
Oh, see, there we
so,
go.
so we
So,
listen.
align.
We,
See, it's
we
for
are
us.
there.
It's for
Everything
us.
has been thought
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
10 out of 10 already.
Pass the offering plate. I'm there. I'm there to support.
Yes.
So, what church do you go to? Hope Church.
Heaux Church.
What is that?
Yep.
Where is that?
Yeah, it's called H
Martin Luther King's
H-E.
Drive. You
Yes.
haven't heard of it yet, but it's very good.
Oh,
So,
you will hear about it. And
Yeah.
you're gonna come on. Yes, yeah. We'll make all the new patrons stand up today.
that's
Yes.
so awesome. Love that.
Yes.
And no tithing. Well, I guess you buy a ticket, so that's your tithe. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That would work. Oh man,
Yeah.
this is too much fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I have another question before bag queers because I did want to.
Well,
Let's see,
then
did
let's
I have
do it.
anything else? Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go to bad queer opinions, because what type of bad queers will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? Brandon,
Yes.
I'm so excited for you to be here for this segment. This is our favorite segment of the show. It is safe until it's not, but you can openly judge, question, agree, disagree, whatever. We have a good time here. So we've already teed this up in all of the ways. So just say whatever comes to your heart.
Okay.
Whatever you
Beautiful.
feel here. So Chris and I will go ahead and go first. My bad queer opinion. I was having this conversation the other day with some friends. So this felt accurate. I feel that queer women deserve to have more of a hoe phase, especially in those early years. Please throw away the U-Haul and be free to be a freak. We have to transition into this. We can't come out and immediately get into that 3-year relationship.
Come on.
There's more stuff to explore, especially when you come out and date somebody else who has just come out and y'all are just flopping and vibing and have no idea what's going on, have done no research, have asked no questions, and just think that everything is okay. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there talking to somebody who has experience and you're like, wait, y'all do what? When? And we're like, wait, weren't you in the 3-year relationship? You haven't tried these things. So please keep the boxes away. Don't go pick them up just because they're on the corner. It's the first of the month and you could get free boxes. Leave the U-Haul at home. Let your freak flag fly. Multiple times over and over again. Please and thank you.
AFM. Ashe AFM. Absolutely. Agreed.
No notes.
No notes.
Thank you.
Literally
No
no
notes.
notes.
No
Thank
notes.
you.
You
We
just
got
saved
it.
somebody's life.
Right?
You saved
Somebody who
somebody's
was
life.
They were
thinking
waiting for
about
this.
it. Who was
Yeah.
thinking about it. But yes, but we were having this conversation and we got like passionate
Yeah.
about this conversation and the fact that like we had a friend who had gone through that and a friend who hadn't gone through that. And I basically got to like mitigate the conversation and somehow it became a debate. But we were like, we should have this
You deserve a hoe
much earlier.
phase.
Yes.
And you deserve multiple hoe phases in your life, I believe. So I'm
No
with you.
notes.
No
Yes.
notes.
No notes.
Thank you so much. My backward opinion.
So my bad queer opinion, guys, it's like more of a bad queer frustration, maybe a state of emergency. I saw this video featuring a stud rapper named Hellcat. Given stud names, probably named Catherine, so I'll say Hell Catherine.
Don't do that.
Who Hell Catherine, we know, or Katie. It's Catherine or Katie. It's one of those two.
It has to be Catherine.
It's
I
probably
hope it's
Catherine.
Catherine. Hell, Catherine.
Yep.
Hell Catherine said that in order to be a stud, you have to be a virgin. And I am so tired of these conversations. Yes.
What was
They
the
said
logic?
That in addition to being the number one stud, self-proclaimed number one stud, they said that they are the number one stud because they're a virgin. And that you cannot have slept with a man to be a stud.
Oh, this is that gold star thing. Ugh.
Yeah. But
No.
should have said gold star first off. But
Right,
at
I was
this
like, virgin.
point,
That's a new way to put this.
right, I know. And she said virgin. Hell, Catherine said virgin. It's
Okay.
gold star.
We got
At
me.
this point, the stud list and rules are getting out of hand. They're getting as long as that list of like what makes men gay. We're so close to banning popsicles with this rhetoric and hookah and straws and sausages and things that I like. So I want to speak to the manager of the studs. I want to speak to the manager. And I'm not even that person, but I
But you have to
think
right
that
now.
it's getting out of hand because that eliminates like the Old Testament bull dagger studs that did, you know, sleep with a man once, experimented, might have had kids like that. The very studs that we are on their shoulders, that would
Uh-huh.
eliminate that.
Hey, hey, hey.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
So it just doesn't make sense. There's rules all the time. It's getting out of hand. So I want to speak to the manager of the
Respect your
studs,
ancestors. Yes.
you know, because it's just too much confusion and chaos out here. And I think that we have to sit down. It's a state of emergency. Things aren't making sense. I've always loved studs. I am a masked person that, you know, I do have reverence for them, even when they fuck up, which is daily. But it's time to speak to the manager of the studs and have a conversation, you know? So I hope nobody listening to that internalizes it. You do not have to be a virgin to be a stud. It's
Yeah.
getting so out of hand.
Yeah.
And it hurts, you know, and that's why I want to speak to a manager, you know, and I really mean it.
I really want to be at that conversation. I know that I shouldn't be, but I just want you to
No,
know.
and you can just,
Really,
we'll bring
I
you in.
won't say nothing. I just want to
yeah,
be.
just,
Right. You said you
yeah.
wanted to sit at the table.
But-
So
I want to
you
sit
know,
at the
we'll
table.
just- we'll pat you right here. Chris, I just want to point out that for anybody who's listening and not watching this, that when you pointed out the old school studs, it was the shimmy that obviously pointed out the big titty studs that you did. And I don't know if you
Well-
meant to do it on purpose or not, but I just needed it to be recognized because
No,
I can't
some
be
of
the
them
only one
do
who
have
saw it.
big titties,
You
and
shimmy.
we do stand on maybe some of their titties and shoulders. It may be a combination of both, but
Amen.
you know, they have shaped the studs in stud culture. So to like, it would eliminate a lot of them, and it makes no sense, and it's dumb. This gold star thing, this virgin thing, is
It's
dumb.
dumb.
It's so dick centric that it eliminates just even that opinion. Like it's just so dick centric. Like I was like, why are we still centering dicks if we're studs? It just doesn't make sense. I just want to talk
Doesn't
to
make
the manager.
sense.
I just want to talk
Okay.
to the manager.
Yep.
I want to
That's
talk to the manager.
fair.
Operator. 0. I want to speak to a human.
Yes.
A human stud right now.
One, please. A person.
Please,
a person.
I will not give my social security number. No. I just want to speak to a person. So yeah,
Please.
just it's a troubling video. So
I love that.
hell,
Hell,
Catherine.
Catherine.
Hell, Catherine. Shout out.
Yeah, you know. They mentioned they were also the number one stud for real nigga shit. That I was like, hey, I can't. I can't. That's on you.
I'd love to
but
see what the
virgin thing.
qualifications were.
Yeah, no,
for
it's
that.
real nigga shit. So
It's funny
they
to
got
put
that.
oneself on a pedestal. Like, because I feel like other people should be like, I feel like somebody else should be like, Hellcat is the number one stud.
Yeah.
But if you tell me, then I have questions. And I'm not a part of the community,
Yes.
but I'm just saying I would have questions if I were
Brandon's
part of the
gonna
community.
slide a note across the table so that somebody can speak for them and just be like, here, shh, psst.
Ask her this. Ask me this.
I don't know how it was formulated. I don't know how the votes were tallied, and
Yeah,
that's
how would
why
the
I
vote-
want
yeah.
to see the manager.
That's why you got to
That's what I
speak to the
wanna know.
manager.
I got to
Yes,
speak to
that's
the manager
fair.
for sure.
Yep. That's
That's
very
fair.
fair.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon.
My bad queer opinion, and I really don't want nobody to. This is gonna be for the gay man, and I really don't want them to. I think we have to give Zara a break. I think we have to. I think we have to give the Zara clothing line a break. Everything doesn't have to be mesh. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't have to have flowers on it. When I invite you to dinner, the fact that 3 of y'all are matching is crazy to me. And I think that is evidence that maybe we should put Zara on a break, a little hold, a little pause. It's fast fashion anyway, and so that's not really the best idea anyway. But Zara has a chokehold on the gays in a way, and I just have to believe that there are other stores where you can get your nice clothes at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just want to encourage somebody tonight to cut up that Zara gift card that somebody gave you. You know what I'm saying? I just want to encourage you to choose a different store. No shade to Zara. Zara wants to, sponsor something. Hey, we love you. But if not, I just think that it's getting out of hand. Okay, why am I seeing every gay in the same shirt? And by the way, I would include myself in this. I had to do a little donation of my clothes because I was like, I'm walking into places and we both got the same button down on, and that is unacceptable. And so I just in case you need to hear it today, leave Zara the fuck alone. And mesh is not, with love and respect. It's just not the only fabric out there, you can be gay in other ways. How about that? You can show your gayness in other ways besides Zara and mesh. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. Please,
That's fantastic. Because we did just have like our Pride Part 2 here in Chicago with Market Days.
Yeah.
And it was there. And that the funny thing about it is I'm like, y'all are wearing mesh and somehow still ending up shirtless. So what was the point?
What was the point? What was the reason?
You're basically already wearing nothing.
What was the reason?
So now you have to make the show of taking the mesh off to be.
But I already saw the goods. This is not how we do a reveal. This is not a reveal. This is not a reveal, love. A reveal, we have to cover to have if you want the reveal, you have to cover it. You know what I'm saying? And listen, there are times for mesh. There are times. A hot summer day, there's a mesh. But why are you showing up at my wedding
right
in a mesh button down?
You're like a blazer.
Just to tell the girls that you're gay? I'm so confused. It's a gay wedding, love. We don't need to wear the mesh. Right. We know where the gays are. We know who you are. Your face is beat. We know who you are.
Okay.
We know who you are. We don't need to wear the mesh button down with the flower on the pocket for us to know you're the homo. No.
We already know.
You're
wearing the no-show socks with the shoes. It's
honey,
fine. It's cuffed.
Honey, we see it.
And you cuffed it.
That's who you dropped it, love.
You dropped it low.
Come on, talk about
YMCA. We don't need.
You came in here talking about Ariana Grande and unprovoked, love.
No one has.
Unprovoked. We know you're a homosexual. We know what you want. You want dick in your mouth. We know it. But right now, we're trying to have a ceremony. So if you could cover up your titties with a little more fabric, that would just be, to me, respectful.
Thank you.
Not too much ass.
I don't think it's too much ass.
I don't think so either.
Come from a place of love
is wild.
Yeah.
I say with love and respect too. You know what I'm saying? So just like don't internalize that either. You know what I'm saying?
Walk past, Sarah.
You see Zara, walk past. Scroll.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You probably would have to clear your cookies, so they don't show up on other sites as you.
True. They will find you. One thing about Zara will find you.
They're going to drop you with that 10% discount code. You're like, here, come back.
Subscribe.
Come back. All right, 15. Yeah. But we can't go higher than that.
Zara knows her base. Let me tell you that right now. Zara knows her base. Okay?
She's not going to just let y'all go without.
No. She's a committed lover, and you really need to let her go. She's abusing you. You don't even realize it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're comfortable. You're too comfortable.
Emotional abuse.
It's
and it has shifted to financial abuse at some point.
Come on,
because
she's taking your coins for shoes that are gonna break next week. I'm so confused.
Like won't survive a Pride weekend.
Won't survive, but it won't. It just won't. Why are you buying sneakers from Zara, love? Woo.
That's the number one question.
With respect. With
the
respect. Real Zara is not a sneaker company, love. They're not a shoe company, love. Please stop buying shoes. Just because it looks good on the mannequin doesn't go nowhere.
At all.
Okay.
And their feet might not even be touching the ground.
The mannequin is floating, love. The mannequin is floating. We need to have these conversations. We need to have these conversations. Okay?
Oh, man.
Please.
This was so good. And that's why we have to have these inter-community conversations.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
I wasn't even, and they've been drowning in Zara. And I've been looking the other way. And mesh. And I just assumed y'all had to.
And when Zara has a mesh, it's a wrap, honey. Everyone has it. Everyone has it. Why do you want what everyone has? Be an individual. Go to a thrift store. Amen.
Okay.
Also,
Amen.
don't donate your stuff to the thrift store, because us that do like to thrift, I don't want
That's
it in
true.
our
That's true.
inventory. So
I was
drive
like, you're gonna pass it off to
drive a
all of
little
us
far.
queer,
That's true.
the queer women who
Drive
are
a
gonna
little
find
far.
it.
That's for me. That's for me. That's for
And
me.
hang
Because
it
I
up at the
did. I did just donate a bunch of ours. So that's to me. That's to me. You're right. You're right. And you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But I
We
thought
just gotta
somebody
make
could
sure,
use it.
hey, gay
Not a
men,
lot.
don't go to the thrift stores. Leave that to the queer women
Yeah.
and
Don't
the hipster trans
mess it
folks
up.
and all of that. Leave that
Yeah.
to us,
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
turn it
You
into curtains.
you
We'll
could
reuse it.
they
It's
could
fine.
donate their brunch boot. We
Oh,
love
a good
the
brunch
brunch
boot.
boot has
Oh yeah,
such a tight grip
A good
on just
brunch
the
boot.
full community. So
Yes.
we need to
Yeah.
that
state
can be
of
donated.
emergency there as well. My God, all that we uncovered here.
Congrats. Great job,
State of
everybody. Great meeting.
emergencies.
Great
Yes.
meeting. Let's go ahead.
Great
Let's go ahead
meeting.
and wrap it up. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to the Thick Party. Thick spelled like how Beyonce spelled thick. It is an event series celebrating plus size queer and trans bodies, curated by DJ Mangumami. Follow so you can hit up the next party. I've seen them in New York. I saw it in Boston. Like they're moving and grooving. So follow DJ Mangumami, Mangumami, and thick.party, THIQUE.party.
I love that. My shout out is to For Everyone Collective, which is a formerly incarcerated worker-owned brand combining design with community organizing. Not gonna lie, this was a IG algorithm thing that I was like, hey, you're right. So follow and support them on IG at foreveryone.collective. Have some really cool clothes, and it goes to a great cause. So, sometimes the algorithms really get it right. I was like, no,
They
I
sometimes do. They really
love
be
it.
knowing.
Thank you. Yeah, I won't clear my cash app.
Right.
Okay, my shout out. My shout out is to Everywhere is Queer, which is a worldwide map of 19,000 plus queer owned organizations and a job board. And it's run by one of my wonderful friends, Charlie. And so I love them because, especially in these times, we need to know where is queer.
Big facts.
I love that.
Big facts. And I love Everywhere is Queer.
do.
Yay.
Yes, love them.
Yay. And then Brandon, for everybody
Yes.
who wants to follow and support you, where should they go? How can they support?
Oh my goodness. You can find me on Instagram at Brandon Kyle Goodman. You can find my Substack, brandonkylegoodman.substack.com. And my podcast is Tell Me Something Messy. We're on hiatus right now, but there's still like 40 something episodes there to check out. And we'll be back in the fall. There's content to love, so you can find us there too.
And are.
Yeah. Shh.
This
Oh, man.
was amazing. I can't believe this interview is over. This was such
I
a time.
know.
Thank you for coming on the show and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. This was the best. I love hanging out with bad queers. I mean,
Brandon,
come
you gotta
on.
come back. You gotta
I
come
would
back.
love
Your
to,
cousin now,
please.
queer cousin, got you.
Yes.
Recorded.
Yeah, it's
is-
recorded, so you can't try and say that you didn't say it. So thank you so much.
I'm coming back. I stand by that. I stand by that.
Yes.
But thank you for all you do, and it's just an honor to have you on the show. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
y'all. I'll see you soon.
Yes, you will. And for everybody else for tuning in, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Can we talk about things? I'm sorry that I'm